Hey, digital warrior, you've been lied to. They told you to stay soft, be nice, stay comfortable. They told you strength was toxic, masculinity was dangerous, and emotions should run wild. And look around. People are exhausted. Not because they're broken, but because they were never trained to be mentally bulletproof. We live in a world where you're taught to chase peace, but never taught to build it, where you crave freedom, but hand over your mind to every little distraction, opinion, rejection. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now, because if you don't train your emotions, someone else will weaponize them against you. And here's what the ancient Stoics knew. You don't become powerful by reading quotes. You become powerful by living the laws they lived by. No fluff, no soft inspiration, just habits, real ones. Habits that made Marcus Aurelius lead empires in chaos without losing himself. Habits that turned ex-slaves like Epictetus into masters of mental warfare. Habits that made Seneca choose calm even while facing death. And today, we bring those habits into the 21st century. 7 habits, not for people who want comfort, but for those who want control over their thoughts, over their emotions, over their destiny. So don't just sit back and listen. This isn't content, it's your challenge. And by the end of this, if you commit, truly commit, you won't just be calm, you'll be untouchable. Habit 1. Master the pause before you react. How much damage have you done just because you reacted too fast? One text ruined a friendship. One insult escalated a fight. One moment of anger burned a bridge you can't rebuild. All because you didn't pause. Modern life runs on reaction, fast replies, fast outrage, fast regret. We don't even think anymore. We just respond to comments, to messages, to noise, and then we suffer the consequences. But the Stoic, he doesn't rush. He doesn't let his emotions drive the wheel. He pauses, and in that pause, he takes back control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not a quote to screenshot. It's a reminder to live by, because the pause is where everything changes. It's where you separate emotion from action, impulse from decision, ego from clarity. That 1 second, that breath, that silence, might save your entire reputation, might save a relationship, might save you from making a mistake you can't take back. If you can be triggered, you can be controlled. And if you're controlled by every little comment, every mood swing, every shift in energy, you're not in power, you're a puppet. But the Stoic is different. He pauses not because he's soft, but because he's calculating. He knows that words spoken in chaos carry regret. And that silence, that pause, it terrifies people, because they're expecting a fight, they're expecting a reaction. And when you don't give it to them, when you simply observe, breathe, and hold your ground, you strip them of their power over you. You show them your peace is not cheap, that your energy is not for sale, that your emotions don't dance to anyone else's music. You want to be emotionally untouchable. Master this, not to shut down, but to show up differently, not to be cold, but to be composed, not to suppress emotion, but to control it. Next time something pisses you off, pause, don't explain, don't clap back, don't justify, walk, breathe, count to 10, say nothing, let the emotion rise, but don't let it lead. Hold your energy like a blade, sharp, hidden, untouchable. Stay silent long enough to hear the truth beneath the noise, because the man who can pause owns the moment, and the man who owns the moment owns the outcome. You weren't built to be reactive. You were built to lead yourself, your emotions, your response. And every pause, that's a rep, that's discipline, that's control. Habit 2, train discomfort like a muscle. Most men today want to be strong, but live like they're made of glass. They won't skip a meal. They won't take a cold shower. They won't sit in silence for 5 damn minutes without grabbing their phone. They panic in silence. They chase comfort like it's God. and then they wonder why they break when life hits. They crave strength, but choose ease every single time. Comfort isn't your friend. It's the slowest poison there is. It wraps you in softness, convinces you everything's okay, puts your edge to sleep, and by the time you wake up, life's already punched you in the mouth. The Stoics saw this danger long before TikTok and takeout. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, slept on the floor, wore scratchy clothes, ate scraps, not to suffer, but to sharpen. He asked himself, "Is this what I was so afraid of?" And in that moment, he became dangerous. Because fear has no grip on the man who's trained for hell. You don't wait for hardship. You seek it out on purpose. You fast. You train. You sit with your own mind. You kill comfort before it kills you. Because if the only time you suffer is when life ambushes you, you'll collapse. But if you've already walked through fire by choice, you'll laugh when others melt. The gym when you're tired. The conversation when you're scared. The silence when you want distraction. That's where your edge is carved. So tonight, don't sleep in your bed. Lay a thin blanket on the floor. Let your body feel what your ancestors felt. Let your mind sharpen in the absence of comfort. Tomorrow, skip one meal, not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself, hunger is a teacher, and you are its student. Pick one pleasure, and deny it. Pick one comfort, and let it go. Face one fear, and walk into it. Every time you do, you tell the universe, I'm not here to be safe, I'm here to be solid. Because the man who trains in discomfort walks through chaos untouched. Comfort softens warriors, discomfort builds them, and your new edge. It begins the second you stop running from pain. Habit 3. Kill the need for validation. Let me hit you with a hard truth. As long as you need to be seen, as long as you need to be liked, as long as you need to be understood by everyone, you'll never be free. You'll keep twisting yourself into versions that win approval but lose your soul. You'll keep checking your phone, hoping someone got the message. You'll post not to share, but to be admired. You'll stay quiet when you should speak, just to avoid looking like too much. That's not peace. That's performance. That's slavery with a smile. The Stoic doesn't perform. He doesn't adjust his soul to fit a weak society. He doesn't decorate his truth so others can digest it easier. He kills the need for validation, not because he doesn't feel it, but because he knows how dangerous it is. Marcus Aurelius ruled millions, but in his private writings he reminded himself, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Read that again. You love yourself the most, but you betray yourself the fastest. For what? Likes, applause, validation from people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared. If your value depends on how others respond, you don't have value, you have performance anxiety. But the Stoic, he speaks with clarity, not crowd-pleasing. He walks away when respect isn't offered. He tells the truth, even if his voice shakes. And most importantly, he doesn't need to be understood, because he's already done that work inside. That's power. When someone mocks you and you don't flinch, when someone misunderstands you and you don't explain, when someone withdraws their approval and you don't shrink, that's when you know, I'm not here to be accepted, I'm here to be aligned. You want to be emotionally untouchable, then kill the habit of needing to be liked. It's poison. So here's your challenge for the next 24 hours. Go dark. No posts, no stories, no checking who viewed what, no chasing reactions, no trying to be seen. Just exist. Write in a notebook, not on a timeline. Speak to yourself, not an audience. Look in the mirror, not at metrics. Let the silence feel heavy. Let it burn. Then ask yourself, without attention, who am I? Because if you don't know that answer, you'll spend your whole life being shaped by strangers. The Stoic doesn't need applause. He doesn't need claps, hearts, or followers. His validation comes from how he lives, not how he's liked. And when you get there, truly get there, You'll scare people because they can't manipulate a man who isn't chasing anything. That's when they stop calling you selfish, arrogant, cold, and start calling you respected. Habit 4. Detach from what you can't control. Here's a truth. Most people refuse to accept that you are suffering, not because life is hard, but because you're trying to control things you were never meant to hold. You try to control how people see you. You try to control the outcome of every risk. You obsess over the past. You panic about the future, and you wonder why your chest feels heavy every morning. It's not the world. It's not fate. It's your grip. You're clutching everything so tightly. People, plans, relationships, results, that your hands are always full, but your heart stays empty. The Stoic, he does something different. He lets go, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." That one sentence could save you years of stress, but only if you live it. So ask yourself, what can you actually control? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, your response, your discipline, your focus. That's your arena. Everything else, the weather, people's opinions, their respect, their loyalty, their love, the results of your hard work, whether something goes viral or not, that's outside your grip. And here's the shift. When you stop trying to control what isn't yours, you gain full command over what is. You stop chasing people and start elevating yourself. You stop stressing over the outcome and start mastering the process. You stop obsessing over what they said and start perfecting how you show up. That's the Stoic's edge. He isn't passive, he's precise. He doesn't float through life. He walks through storms, calm, focused, and unbothered. Because when your focus is internal, the external world loses its power over you. Every time you feel overwhelmed, ask one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Let it fall off your shoulders. Mentally cut the rope. You are not built to carry what was never yours. And if the answer is yes, act with full force. No hesitation, no blaming, no waiting for someone to save you. You are the only one in the driver's seat. So start acting like it. Detach from the noise. Detach from their approval. Detach from the outcome, and attach your identity to discipline, to effort, to clarity. Because the man who knows what is and isn't his to control, that man, he's unshakable. Habit 5. Build an inner fortress. Most men build their identity out of glass. They let praise inflate them. They let criticism shatter them. And the worst part, they never see it happening until it's too late. One bad day ruins their momentum. One rude comment ruins their confidence. One heartbreak ruins their sense of worth. Why? Because they built themselves on noise, not on something real. The Stoic builds from the inside. He doesn't wait to be complimented to feel worthy. He doesn't need a crowd to feel valuable. He doesn't rely on the world to give him peace. Because the world, it's unstable. It shifts. It disappoints. It lies. But his core, untouched. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." You don't get there by accident. You build it. You build a code. You build rituals. You build silence. You build a mental structure so solid that when the world shakes, you don't. So ask yourself, what do you turn to when chaos hits? A screen, a substance, a person, or do you turn inward, to discipline, to breath, to the calm you've trained for? Because when your inner world is chaotic, the outer world will always control you. But when your inner world is stable, the outside can scream, and you'll still walk with clarity. So start building. Wake up early, train your body, journal with fire, sit in silence, recite your values, meditate with intention, not because it looks good, but because it's your armor. Every small act of discipline, it's a brick, and brick by brick, you build a mind that doesn't break. Not when you're rejected, not when you're lonely, not when life doesn't go as planned, because you've trained too hard to fold. Let others react, let others spiral, let others chase dopamine and call it peace. You build quietly, ruthlessly, because the man who builds an inner fortress, he doesn't need to yell, he doesn't need to chase, he doesn't need to prove. He simply shows up solid, focused and untouchable. Habit 6. Sharpen the blade of self-discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. Most people live softly because they think motivation will carry them. They wait to feel like it. They wait to be inspired. They wait for the right time. But waiting is a weakness, and the Stoic doesn't wait. He moves with or without feeling like it. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not a master of himself." Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. Freedom is doing what must be done even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's self-discipline. It's not sexy, it's not flashy, but it's the edge that separates warriors from the weak. You want to build a body, discipline. You want to build wealth, discipline. You want to build peace, discipline. Every goal bows to it. But here's the trap. People confuse discipline with burnout. They think it means grinding until you collapse. No, real discipline is smart, clean, consistent. It's saying no when your cravings scream yes. It's getting up when comfort begs you to stay in bed. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's living by design, not by emotion. Start small, make your bed perfectly, eat clean with intention, move your body daily, work in blocks, no distractions, go to bed on time, no excuses, track it ruthlessly, build momentum until it becomes an identity. Discipline isn't just something you do, it's who you become, and once you become it, people will wonder how you do so much, how you stay focused, how you keep rising. They'll call you obsessed, but obsession is just consistency with a goal, and that consistency, it makes you lethal. Because a man with discipline doesn't just act strong, he becomes unbreakable. While others talk about their plans, he executes. While others complain about their mood, he keeps going. While others chase balance, he builds legacy. So if you want peace, earn it. If you want respect, embody it. If you want results, live like it. Discipline is the blade. Sharpen it daily, because no matter how chaotic life gets, the disciplined man stays locked in, not reactive, not fragile, focused, unstoppable, untouchable. Habit 7. Choose purpose over pleasure. Most men are ruled by one question: how can I feel good right now? That question, it destroys kings. It makes you choose the dopamine hit over the disciplined grind. It makes you scroll when you should build. It makes you quit when you should push. It makes you chase women, likes, sugar, comfort, anything to avoid facing your reality. And then you wonder why you feel lost. Because men who chase pleasure as a lifestyle end up broken, not because life is unfair, but because they traded their crown for comfort. The Stoic, he asks a different question. What is my duty? Not what feels good. What is required of me? That shift, it changes everything. Marcus Aurelius woke up each morning with a reminder. Get up, you were born to do this, not to relax, not to indulge, to lead, to serve, to discipline and purpose. Real purpose is rarely pleasurable in the moment. It's hard, it's uncomfortable, it demands sacrifice, but it leaves you fulfilled. It builds you instead of breaking you. So ask yourself, what is your mission? Not your fantasy, not your dream, your mission. What must you do even if no one claps? What must you finish even when you're exhausted? What must you face even when it terrifies you? That's the purpose. And when you align your habits, thoughts, and actions with that, you become untouchable, because pleasure can't buy you anymore. Distractions can't trick you. Fake validation can't seduce you. Your life has direction, and in that direction, it cuts through the chaos like a sword. While others float, you march. While others consume, you create. While others numb, you feel, fight, and rise. Reject the lie that happiness is the goal. Choose meaning, choose weight, choose the path that forges fire in your spine. That's where peace lives. That's where strength grows, not in pleasure, but on purpose. And the man who chooses that, the world cannot move him. You've made it this far, and that already makes you different. Most people, they tap out when things get uncomfortable. They scroll away. They quit. They numb themselves before the truth can even reach them. But you stayed. You listened. You reflected. And maybe, just maybe, you're ready to change. But listening isn't enough. Knowing isn't enough. You've got to live this daily. Because life, it won't get easier. But you can get stronger. Stronger in your habits. Stronger in your emotions. Stronger in your mind. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being forged, fire-tested, tempered, unshakable. That's what Stoicism is. That's what you're becoming. So walk forward, not as someone looking for peace, but as someone who creates it, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who are calm under pressure, grounded in storms, untouchable in spirit. And if you keep walking this path, that man will be you.